Steve, we see that you've joined. Can you hear us?
Oh, he's not unmuted.
It's warm. She got me up to 74.
Okay, can you hear me now?
We can barely hear you, but we can hear you.
You can hear me? Okay. Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to stay for the meeting too long, but I was successful in connecting. But you can't hear me
Steve,
very
one
well,
thing
huh?
when you talk, and make sure you get close to your iPad because you kind of come in and out a little bit. But yeah, okay, we heard you. That's fine.
You got anybody else logged in?
No, it's just you.
Okay.
You have your it on click because in here it doesn't matter. Share. At least cancel on speaker.
At least it worked. Let's see if I can. Yeah. Part of my problem. You know what? I bet that was the volume.
Are you muted now?
No.
No.
Should be on just your computer. You may have to exit out the presentation.
That's it. Oh, I need to unmute.
That's just my volume. Sounds like share speaker.
Okay, click on that. It's the echo canceling. Hey, Steve, will you say hi again?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yeah, we can hear you good.
Was that better? Okay.
Yes.
Good.
Hey, Steve, if no one ends up showing up, we're going to still actually go through. And there's nobody in the room right now either, except for me, Crystal, and Rachel. But we're still going to go through it because we're going to record it to have some.
Sure. Are you taping this by chance?
We will be, yes.
It's
Okay,
on
well,
record.
That's great. Okay. Because you'll have that. Because like I said, I'm not going to be able to stay on either. I was hoping to, but something else has come up. So good luck tonight. I hope it goes well.
Did you have your IEC committee meeting today?
No, that's tomorrow.
Tomorrow, okay. Call me if you have
It's
any
tomorrow morning. I'm sorry?
Said, call me if you have any problems with WebEx.
I will. Yeah. But that's why I thought this would be a good opportunity to dial in. And as I said, it looks like, are you still having a little trouble hearing me though?
No.
Okay. Yeah, I'll let you know, but it should be good. I figured with the uncertainty of the weather, it'd be best for me to just participate virtually with that. So
Yeah, and you're
sounds good. Well, you guys have a good evening.
Thanks, Steve.
Bye.
Bye
Thanks,
now.
Steve.
Bye.
Where did my?
Share that. There.
Well, 6:03.
We're going to run through it. Choose some tables. Please. Thank you. Crystal, you're not excited. Come on, smile, be happy.
I'm afraid to go home.
I know. Siri, erase that.
It's closed right now.
Oh,
Really?
darn. I saw that the carriage is open.
Yeah, I saw all the nasty comments
No.
on Facebook. There's like 263 like comments, but there's some nasty.
Welcome, everyone. My name is Brett Planup. We're going to go ahead and kick this town hall off. Thanks for all who have joined, and thanks for future folks that might see this clip and end up watching. So welcome. I've got with me tonight Crystal Greathouse. Crystal is our manager of billing and member services. And then Rachel Sullivan. Rachel is our corporate relations and marketing manager. So again, thanks. We're going to go through a few things here. I've got some business updates, and then I'm going to hand it over to Crystal and let Crystal kind of hit up what we wanted to talk to you tonight about, which is just understanding your bill. And we did a few projects to make that a little bit more clear. So I'll let Crystal go through that. So first off, some business highlights. So our strategic planning process, kind of where we're at on that. We just last board meeting, which would have been last month, the board approved a resolution to approve the initiatives that we set forth. Again, we did an offsite event with senior managers and the board. We came out with some initiatives, and those initiatives were approved by the board through resolution last month. So kind of where we're at right now is we have employee teams. So we've put everyone on an initiative team, and those teams are working on right now creating projects. So the initiatives are pretty high level. These projects will define and set measures of success for these initiatives. So we'll be working on those till about September timeframe. Right around that September timeframe, we'll have a good idea of what that overall plan is going to look like. And then, of course, once we get through all those projects, that will develop into our long-term business plan. So to go through some of those initiatives with you, they're very exciting from a member standpoint. The first one actually is talking about providing differential value for our members And just to step back real second, you know, when we kind of put all the data together to come up with these initiatives, you know, we had 17 different meetings. One was a member meeting, and we took information from those meetings to provide some of these initiatives. So I'm very excited on the first one. It's providing differential value for our members. So what that is all about is trying to look at different methods to provide you as members more value. So pretty excited about that one. The next one is system modernization. So system modernization is our infrastructure. So poles, wires, and everything that's out in the field. And then also looking at our internal systems. We have a lot of new technology in our systems, whether it's a billing system, map and outage system. And we want to make sure that we're using those to the best of our abilities. There are some things that we could utilize. And so we'll be looking at those types of things for the future. The next one is to manage risk for long-term sustainability. Our industry is going through more change than, you know, since its history. And so it's very critical that we're managing risk. Typically, you know, when we make a decision, it doesn't necessarily impact something right away, right? It could be 10, 20 years before you see the fruit of that risk. So managing those long-term risks to make sure that, you know, we keep our metrics where we want them to be over a long period of time is important to us, and that's one of our initiatives. Next initiative is safety. We live safety every day. You know, we talk about it. We have a safety committee. We live it, and so we feel like we're the experts around you know, safety when it comes to power lines. And so what we're looking at here on safety is what can we provide to our community? Number one, that, you know, we can use our expertise, and then number two, what can we do to up our game here internally also? You know, safety is one of those things you can't just, you know, say we're good where we are, right? So we're going to be taking a look at what can we do to even up our game even more. So, and then the last one is actually owned by the board. The board decided they wanted to do really a board assessment and take a look at where there's some opportunities from a governance standpoint. So that will be owned by the board. They'll drive that there. So those are our initiatives. I can't wait to talk about those more as they develop. So looking forward to that. Next, I wanted to give an update on our budget. So we just recently went through our budgeting cycle and got board approval for that budget. There are three really main topics that I wanted to cover tonight in the budget. Number one, our board approved $1.64 million in our right-of-way, our vegetation management, our tree trimming program. That has provided about a 24% improvement in tree-related outages in the last, you know, since we started this, which was in 2016. So the board has again approved to get basically us through that first reclaim cycle. So in other words, we've touched, by the end of this year, we will have touched every circuit on our system. And then once we're done with this year, it'll get into more of a maintenance cycle where we're going through and doing some side trimming and stuff like that. It won't be so much of a tree removal at that point. So looking forward to that. Next, we identified last year, and I know we're not the only ones experiencing this, but our materials lead times have really increased. We're traditionally a very, very lean company. We don't keep very much inventory, transformers specifically. We can normally call our distributor to get a transformer within 24 hours. That is no longer the case. Some of these transformers are up to 18 months lead time. So where we used to be able to, again, have a very lean inventory, we know that that's not going to work for the future, and for us to be able to provide you, the members, with, you know, reliability and to our mission statement. So what we decided to do was to buy actually 2 years worth and stage those through this next year. And so that was approved in our budget, and glad to announce that we have purchased the first half of those, and then the second half will happen in about a month or so. So next and last I wanted to talk about was dollars in our budget, Capex dollars in our budget to do you know, basic infrastructure rebuild. So replacing poles that have been deemed bad, replacing you know, wire. So you'll see us out this year doing those things where our system needs that work. So those are the major highlights from the budget. The next thing I wanted to touch on is last board meeting, we had a review of our 2020 year. So we have metrics to gauge our success in every department. And so we went through all of those metrics. It's actually online under our news for last month's board meeting. You can go through and watch that. But we reported out to the board. We went through every one of those. I think there's 60 some different metrics. And so we will be putting that summary together and getting that out to you. So look for that, whether it's in the magazine or through an email. Next, our annual meeting is coming up. So save the date, right on your calendars, June 17th. There will be a lot of information coming out in the magazine and all of our other media platforms as far as some details on that. But it will be on June 17th, and that is a Friday. We've been trying to stay really consistent with being in the middle of June and on a Friday. So we look forward to seeing you there. We've got some really exciting things that are along with that meeting that you will see coming out soon. Next, with the annual meeting is elections. So our elections will open on May 17th. If you are interested in running for either a director on our board or a nominating committee member, call in the office. The girls up front can help you go through that process. But yeah, call the office if you'd like to run for one of those positions. Next and last for me is tomorrow night is our regular board meeting night. It's the fourth Thursday of every month. We always are open to members coming in. You can actually join from your family room virtually. All of these are online, posted afterwards also. So if you'd like to watch it afterwards, go to our website under news and you'll see the board meetings there. Or if you'd like to join live, you can either come in person. You don't need to let us know. You can just come on in, or you can join on WebEx. And the WebEx link is under board governance on our website, and then go down and you'll see the agendas for our meetings. And on that agenda, it'll actually have the link. So look forward to seeing y'all. Crystal, I'm gonna pass it on to you.
Thank you, Brett. So I'm Crystal Greathouse, and I'm just going to cover a little bit of what our new bill print looks like. We actually implemented this back in October of 2020, and we did a town hall event at that time, but just wanted to kind of touch on it again in case there was any other questions about the bill now that everybody's had a little bit of time to see it for a little while. So the main reasoning for changing the bill print was to increase the transparency so that everybody understood exactly what they were being billed for. We basically broke the bill down into individual line items so that it is very clear what every charge is on your bill. We're going to just kind of go through here, walk through the top all the way to the bottom. So on the front page of the bill, we made it very clear in the middle of the page, and the circle is the amount that you owe. If for some reason you had an amount that was past due, that circle would be red, so it would stick out quite a bit when you got that bill. Over on the top right-hand side, it lists your account number, your name, the payment that you made for the prior month, and then any other adjustments that you might have had for the month before. And then kind of moving down into the middle, we did want to break out and show everybody their energy consumption based on past history. So we thought it was really important for people to understand where they were at, last month compared to this month compared to last year. It's a really good comparison when somebody gets a bill that seems to be a lot higher than it was last month or even last year. You can kind of do a quick look at that without going back and digging out your old bills. And then to the right of that is just the average daily usage. So it shows you what it is per kilowatt hour, and then also by the cost. So that's pretty helpful, we think. And then below that is important member information. So we put a message on our bill every single month about what's going on here at the co-op. So it does change depending on the season. and kind of what's going on. So pay attention to that for more information. And then down on the stub area, it's just basically a recap of your account number, what you owe. If you're going to pay it after the 21st, then it does have the 5% penalty added into there. And that'll be what your amount is at the bottom. And then going on to the second page, which is just the backside of your bill, it's going to give you all of your charges. So if you're an electric only account, your bill is going to look just like this. It's going to list out your service availability charge, which is going to be different depending on what rate you're on. So if you're just a single phase residential rate, it's going to be a $37 service availability charge. If you're small, medium, large, commercial, industrial, that number is going to change based on what your rate is. If you look a little bit above the charges, at the very end, it will tell you what that rate schedule is. Kind of going back through that, it'll just show you your meter number, your reading dates, your kilowatt hour usage. If you have a meter multiplier, some people, it will say something other than a 1. That just means if it says 20, your meter has to go around 20 times before your kilowatt hour will increase on your meter. If it's a 40, it has to go around 40 times. So it's all billed the same. It's just the mechanical part of that meter is just a little bit different than others. So going down through the charges, talked about service availability. If you have a security light, it will list that out there. It'll tell you how many that we're billing you for. So if you look on that bill and it's only saying 1, but you really have 2 or 3, it'd be a good opportunity for you to contact the office and let us know so that we can confirm that and make sure that we're billing you correctly. And then vice versa, if it says that we're billing you for a light and you really don't have one, also give us a call so that we can get that corrected for you. That was one of the reasons that we wanted to specifically break this out so that if there were errors of either us not billing you for something or we're billing you for something we shouldn't be, that we could get those things corrected. And then going down from there would be your security light power cost adjustment. The power cost adjustment is going to be changed every single month. It could be a negative, it could be a positive. It kind of just depends on what is happening with Hoosier and what is happening with the cost of power. Right below that is going to be your energy charge. Your energy charge is just strictly what electricity has gone through your meter in kilowatt hours. So it will list out how many kilowatt hours you had, and then whatever the current rate is for the electric cost. And then below that is going to be just the normal power cost adjustment. It's the same thing as the security light power cost adjustment, and the number would match on that as well. And basically a power cost adjustment is instead of us having to redo rates every single month to make sure that we're charging the right amount, we pass that through as an adjustment on the bill. And then below that is going to be your sales tax. So if you're tax exempt, you won't have that line item. But if you do, it's going to be on there. And then Roundup, if you participate, is our Operation Roundup program that members can contribute to, that nonprofit organizations can apply for grants twice a year. And then we would award them from the Roundup board. And that is a different board than our current board of directors here at the REMC. And then it's just going to give you your total for your billing. Now, if you have a gas account or an internet account as well, it's just going to list them right below where your electricity is. So everything will be on this side of the page, and then it'll just total everything up on the front in your total amount due. So then kind of moving down, we wanted to make sure that everybody knew that we had multiple ways to make a payment. So we've got auto pay where you can sign up and have it taken directly out of your checking account, off of your credit card, a savings account. We have online. You can log in through the DCREMC website, and you can do it as a pay now. If you don't want to register and have a Smart Hub account, it's a very quick and easy way to make your payment. Or you can download the Smart Hub app and you can do it through your phone as well. Very quick and easy. By phone, we actually have an IVR system now. I know we still get quite a bit of calls here to our direct number where people want to make a payment. But we have actually had our IVR system for almost 2 years now. So if you do want to make a payment, make sure you're calling the 833 number so that you're getting directed to the IVR and not here to the local number, because we'll just have to transfer you or give you that phone number to call. And then in person, you can always stop in the office and come into the lobby, or you can drive through the drive-through and make the payment. And then we also have our night deposit box if we are not open and you want to drop your payment off. And then below that, we kind of just have some important information that we wanted to make sure everybody was aware of. Basically, if we receive your payment in the office after the due date, it would be applied that 5% penalty. We don't go by the postmark date. It's the day that we do receive it here at the office. Failure to receive your bill does not exempt you from paying the bill. So just kind of some, just things that we want everybody to be aware of. And then to the right of that are some descriptions that basically go through exactly what we just talked about, but it gives you a description next to each of those. So if you read through those and have any questions, just give us a call. I know on the single phase accounts, you guys are not billed demand. So the few things on here about actual and billed demand, it's not going to mean anything to you, but the accounts that are on small, medium, large, and industrial, it will. So if anybody has any questions about those, just feel free to give the office a call and we can explain those to you and walk through your specific bill with you individually. I think that's all that I have. So I'm going to pass it on to Rachel to talk about some ways to save energy and money.
Thank you, Crystal. So we are in peak heating season, and chances are your February usage is pretty high because we've had several cold days. Your heating system is running full blast. So here are some tips, some easy, low investment ways to save energy and ultimately save money in your home. First, turn your thermostat up or down 2 to 3 degrees. So if we're in heating season, if you set your thermostat at 70 normally, tick it down to 68. Your body will probably adjust, and you can, potentially save some dollars every month just by turning your thermostat down 2 degrees. Keep your curtains pulled to block drafts. You can also keep out in the summer, you would, keep out the heat of the day, but in the winter, you're going to block drafts. You're going to keep the heat in. You can also get those door guards that go under your doors to block drafts. Lots of us live in the rural areas, so we've got dust and wind and all kinds of things blowing through our areas. So if you don't have one of those door blocks, door jamb things, roll up a towel and stick it in at the bottom of your door. That will help to, conserve heat loss and keep your heat in. Turn down your water heater temperature. So most of us don't even know where that dial is, but it's on your water heater, usually at the bottom, but maybe behind a little panel at the bottom, the access panel. Just turn it down 2 clicks. And if you can handle a slightly less burning shower, then that could save in your water heater costs as well. If you are watching TV at all, you see commercials on TV about washing in cold water. My grandmother would never agree to wash her laundry in cold water, but it works. The technology today with the washing machines and the detergent, it will get your clothes clean and you will save money and electricity by not having to run your water heater as much. And if you have kids, you're doing a ton of laundry, that could add up to a big savings. It will in my household. Always make sure you set your refrigerator to the recommended settings. If you turn it up too cold, you might like your beverage drawer really cold or something. Just make sure you set it on the recommended settings because it's that way for a reason. It'll keep your food cool enough and you're not wasting energy by setting it too cold. In the summer, we recommend, using different alternative forms of cooking. Use your grill as much as possible. Even your microwave will use less energy than your stove and your oven because for one, it's not putting heat into your house in the summer. Also in the summer, hang your clothes out to dry if you can. They did it for years before electric dryers and gas dryers, and it works fine, and it also saves you money. We already talked about blocking the doorways. Also, monitor your home energy use. We fortunately have a really awesome tool here at REMC to help you do that. It's called the Smart Hub app. You can access it web-based online or through an app, which you can download. It's just called Smart Hub. And this is what the screens look like. This is actually my personal account. And you can see in the far left-hand screen, this is the home page, the screen on the app on my phone. It shows me what my bill is and when it's due. I have 2 meters, so this looks probably different than yours might. So 1 meter is due on one day, and then I have another meter with another plan. And actually, it's the prepay program. So if you would like to enroll in prepay, you can potentially pay your bill every day. It's like a gas tank account. You would put a little money in your tank every day. You could put $100 in a week, and then it debits out the amount that you use every day. So that is there at the bottom of that home screen. Further down on the screen, it shows me my usage today, maybe last month and a year ago. And then you can also see what you're using by the day. This trend line is the weather. So you can see where when the temperatures are warmer outside, I'm using less electricity in my house. And then in the final screen, this is month to month. And same thing, when the weather is warmer, where's this time? I can't see. Okay, this is hourly.
Where your kids are outside in those nice weather days.
That's right. I'm sorry, I can't see my print is so small. I need my readers. So hourly, you can even view your use by the hour. And you can see my household peak is 8 o'clock at night when we all get home from ball practice and we're trying to make dinner and take showers and do homework. So my usage is highest at that point of the day. Yours may be in the morning. But it's neat to see your trends and maybe how you can think about what you're doing during that time and how you can curtail that use to help you save money. Some other maybe medium investment ways to save would be install LED light bulbs, a programmable thermostat in your home. Obviously, if you're looking to change out your appliances, always look for Energy Star rated appliances. You can do small home weatherization projects like adding caulk around your windows and doors. Select Energy Star windows if you're looking to replace windows or building a home. Add insulation if possible. Also, if you're looking to upgrade your HVAC system, look for something that has a higher SEER rating. Make sure you get it maintained every year. Do a maintenance check every year. And then heat pump water heaters are kind of the newest technology, heat pump or hybrid style water heaters. They are more efficient. They use less to heat water quickly. So that would just help you save money in your heating, water heating costs down the road. This is just a chart to show, it demonstrates the value of electricity and how other things in our life are increasing over time, but electricity has only increased 1% over the last several years. And this data is from 2020, so you know, it's pretty relevant. Some rebates and incentives that you could qualify for as a Decatur County REMC member include HVAC upgrades. So if you're changing out your heating system, make sure you check our website. We have rebates for heat pumps, geothermal units, single air or single room or whole home mini split systems. So lots of options there. Like I said, we're going to hybrid heat pump water heaters. They're more efficient, so we're going to rebate that cost at $500. If you have the need for an electric blower or electric push mower or weed eater, we are rebating those electric lawn equipment purchases up to $50. And you can also get a rebate for having your heating and cooling system tuned up every year. So check our website for rebates and incentives. And that is all that we have to share with you today. So if you have questions, we would love to hear from you.
Rachel, I do have a real quick, on your Smart Hub app and being able to look at that energy usage hour over hour. I think I have a really relevant story I think is neat to share. So I had a member call in and their usage and their bill was just really high. And so they were able to use this app to look at, and it was happening at the same hour, this huge increase would come on. And it was like every so often it would come on. It was almost every day, right? So when we got into looking at this, what they found out just from using this hourly chart was they had a well that it was cracked and that well couldn't keep pressure in the system. So it would literally pump, stop for a couple hours, pump, stop for a couple hours. Now you can imagine that over a 24-hour period, and then over the entire month. They noticed it pretty quick when they were looking at this data. So it's just something relevant that I thought was kind of cool.
Great. Anything else you want to add, Brett?
I thought since we got some time here, I've got two things that and Crystal, you can help me out here too, because I'm sure you have heard these through our front desk, but I get asked a lot on service availability charge. So for residential, it's $37. What is this? Why are you charging this? Why would I have to pay something just to have access? You know, we hear things like that quite often and get questioned on it. And actually, the reason for this is really the opposite of what you would normally think. It's actually a very fair mechanism to recover our costs. So we build our rates based upon true real cost. We have a cost of service study done with an expert, and our theory is we want to charge the member what they cause us to incur. So this service availability charge is one of the fairest ways. So that is recovering what I consider our fixed cost. So no matter if we sell 0 kWh in a month, there are still costs that we have to cover, right? So you want to cover those through a fixed charge. If you don't do it that way, and we would just throw that $37 into the kWh charge, what happens is you're charging people unfairly. So for instance, if you're a high user of energy, you're going to pay more than what you should have to pay. Or if you're a low user, you're not going to be paying enough of those fixed costs. So the best way to do that is to recover those costs through that fixed charge. So it spreads it across evenly because those costs are essentially usually member driven equally. So anyway, just trying to explain, I get that question a lot of times, and that's what it really is. It's recovering our costs that are irrelevant of energy. Second question we get a lot is demand. So if you're a residential member, you're not going to see a demand charge. That demand charge is part of your KWH. And the reason why we don't have a demand charge right now for residentials is usually the difference between household to household is not very much. So we spread that demand cost over through an energy charge. But in a commercial or industrial, that demand charge can be way different from member to member. And so what that demand is doing is it's recovering the cost from an infrastructure standpoint. So in other words, the way I kind of like to visualize it is if you're someone that's got, for instance, a grain bin, right? Let's say there's 2 members that have 5 grain bins. One member just uses one at a time. Very rarely do, they don't use them all at the same time. They're just using one, they turn that one off, they turn another one. Turn that one off, they turn another one on. That member doesn't need near as big of a transformer, near a big, wire size, which wire size dictates what pole size and pole class, all the way back to the substation. And then from the substation, same thing through the transmission lines, and then at the generation. So in other words, the member that turns everything on at once is causing a lot more cost to be incurred than a member that's only using one at a time. Even though their hourly charge, their KWH could be exactly the same. One's turning everything on at once, the other one is not, is using one at a time. So that demand charge, again, just like the fixed cost charge, it's trying to put the cost as fairly as we can to the person that's causing those costs. We call it cost causation. So a member that doesn't turn on all those bins at once and is only turning on one at a time should not have to pay the cost for the infrastructure for someone that's turning them all on at once. So again, that's a very commonly asked question, is the demand charge. What else? You guys think of anything else that commonly gets asked? Crystal, I know Crystal's probably one is during the colder months or during the hotter months, we get a lot of calls on what we consider a high bill complaint. And I know I've listened to Rachel and her entire team talk through those with the members. And it's typically just because you're using more energy. It's not necessarily a base rate change. It's not like we changed the rates. It's just the fact that you're using more energy because it's either really, really hot out or really, really cold out. Would you say that's fair?
Yes, and I think a lot of times people, when they get their bill, they will forget that 30 days prior, we had a really cold snap for a week or two. And then by the time that bill comes, it's warmed back up, or vice versa if it's in the summer. And people just don't remember. I mean, I don't remember from what last week's temperature was.
Right.
It's usually a sticker shock when they get the bill and they're like, oh my gosh, why is my bill so high?
Yeah.
Well, if you go back and look at your Smart Hub app, you can follow the temperature. And if it was, 2 degrees for a week at night, you're going to use a lot more electricity than if it was 32 degrees. So.
And Crystal, you bring up a great point. So we bill on actuals, right? So we don't estimate what your usage is going to be and then bill you. We literally use the actuals. So what happens then is you're being billed a month later, essentially. So your usage for the bill that you're getting that month, it's for the usage the month before. So that's a good point. Sometimes I can't remember what I did yesterday, so let alone what the temperature was.
I think that's it.
All right. Well, last thing, if you can't tell tonight, if you come in, you'll tell right away. My team is very, very passionate about what we do. We love to talk about it. I specifically could talk for hours. So I'm inviting you, if you have questions, concerns, or just want to know about the industry. It's a very interesting industry. And like I said, things are changing so quickly. You have the advantage of being a co-op owner. And so come in, talk to us. Like I said, sometimes you may have a hard time getting rid of me, but we enjoy feedback. And, even if there's just an idea you have, call in, set up a time. I'd be more than happy to meet you anywhere, or you could come in. So, and I'm sure my team, they feel the same way. We're really passionate about what we do, and we love serving you, the members. So thanks. Hopefully you got something out of this town hall, and we'll see you for the next one.
Thank you.
Thank you.